We don't have any sort of fanfare, so we'll do it with our mouths. India, fanfare, please.
Animorning challenge. So, do you want to bring it up on your screen because you have no lag?
Yeah. Okay. I will do that. Maybe I should do it so that I have the whole screen.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Do it.
Okay. I haven't set. I will set up a format for this next time, but for now I'll just like jury rig.
Sounds good. I'd like to do a little title as well, so it's obvious when it's happening.
Yeah. So let me just duplicate what we have here.
Okay. So while you're doing that,
Animorning challenge.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna recap what it was to people. So the Animorning challenge this last week has been to animate a four-legged creature doing a jump. Because everyone is scared of four-legged creatures, which I understand. And so let's get them moving around. Let's make them jump, yo. So that's what everyone's been working on.
Gonna just make this big.
I'm just scrolling through them.
Let's
so is my screen off screen?
Yes.
Awesome. And then I'ma use my screen to look at them as well
here.
alongside you.
Monitor jewel.
It was doing a jump, but it doesn't matter, Havo.
Oh, did he not know it was a jump?
Yeah, the prompt is but a prompt. The fact that you did two four-legged creatures, so don't give me that.
Okay.
There's a hop counts jump. Yeah, sure. We are very lenient. Like, it's more just to get people doing stuff slightly out of their comfort zone and doing fast exercises every week than it is about them needing to one-to-one 100% make sure that they do exactly what we say.
Okay. I've got my full screen.
All right. So the first submission we had is from Steiny, who is Animated Moon in chat, but he went to bed. But for those of you who saw him earlier, and he animated a bear doing a walk.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm still finding stuff.
You're still finding it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going back in time
to another world that I can't deny. You don't have to worry.
I think I got it. There we go.
No whipping this time. You got off easy this time. So this is Steiny's work. And I love how jaunty this bear is. It's a shame the music stopped because I've been looking at this for the past minute, and while the music was going, the bear was actually walking to the beat.
Really? I'll put the last track on then.
There you go, guys. He's having a grand old time.
Trashbot, get out of here. Where are you, Trashbot? You're hiding. I'll get you, Trashbot. There you go.
Yeah, so this is awesome. I'd say, Steiny, for the future, the thing that I would look at is, rather than handling the body as one big shape that you're kind of bouncing like a ball, think of the shoulders and the butt as two separate shapes that are slightly offset and make almost a wave pattern with the downs of the back and the front legs. So when a quadruped walks, and I haven't looked at bears specifically, so you can call me out if this is not right for bears, but for most quadruped animals, the front and back ups and downs of the body are slightly offset, but then they're connected by that spine. So if you were going to go more realistic, that's what I'd suggest. Also, just making sure you're really articulating those legs and checking the positions, because sometimes it feels like they maybe get a little bit less defined than they could be.
Like you want to feel like the displacement of the volume of the foot is like actually pressing into a surface.
I want to see where all the joints are. Like, I want to know that you know where the shoulder is and where the elbow is and where the wrist is and where the fingers are, and that those are being tracked by you across every frame. To make sure they make sense.
The floppy ears are a good plus. I like
yes.
the follow through in that.
The secondary action is great. the tail. The squash and stretch on the tail. It makes me very happy to watch this. It's a happy animation. Like, great job. Very, very cool. I also very much like the style. I think this was done in Clip Studio Paint.
I think so.
I just very much like the
brush
pencil.
style. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think from what I've seen of Steiny's work, he really favors that kind of brush. I see him use it a lot.
It suits him, I think.
Yeah.
It feels nice. Buffy's jumped into a box, which is her favourite place to be.
That's a 10 out of 10 for Buffy.
10 out of 10.
She's staring at me.
And that's a 10 out of 10 for you, Steiny. Let's see, and scroll down. Alice is designing her frog. Elaine is designing a cat.
I'm gonna show these as well because
Okay.
I think it's nice to show that you can like do development.
Well, yeah, because especially on Alice's, which have some indications of the way it would move. So there's a bit of study going on there.
So this is Alice Mation's design of a simple frog. And then also this one.
It's so casual. In the second one, it's like, hey, what's up? You found me on my tree branch. What you doing?
Yeah, really great appeal, really great character being shown through that.
Yo, get me a drink. Where you going?
Elaine's the cat in the middle of Elaine's designs.
You cracked up.
I absolutely adore.
Mike called me over and he was like, look!
Just the sideways face.
I like a lot of these. I really like the one where it's got tiny face and like a giant body as well.
That's peak design right there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, next one.
So Habbo has posted a screenshot of him working on it, but I think he's posted the actual animation further down.
Okay. I'll show. Do you want me to show Habbo's next?
I'm gonna keep scrolling. Yes, Habbo's is next. So
okay.
Habbo's got a first pass under 3 hours.
Do you want me to show that one or the past two?
Well, the other ones are screen grabs. They're not GIFs or moving or anything.
Oh, I see two. There's one that was, this is first pass under 3 hours is the second one, I think. And the one above it says past 2.
Oh, okay.
Which is further along. Which one should I show?
Let's show the passing under 3 hours first, and then we'll show the second one, which is further along.
Let's do that then. Oh, how do I... Maybe I'll have to download it quickly.
Alice, you haven't missed yours. We haven't done yours yet. Yours is next.
Toigers.
Toigers.
It's just opening it, I think, in QuickTime.
Oh my tiger.
Come on. Come on.
He loves a second cute little black kitty. Yeah, they're so cute.
Okay, is that being shown on the screen okay? Yes, I think so. As well as can be hoped for.
So this is under 3 hours, which is always the prompts that we do. We're always encouraging people to try and see what they can do in under 3 hours. Mainly just because we want people to have time for their personal projects. We don't want to take up all the time with these Weekendly challenges. Oh, sorry, these Animorning challenges. That's so cute. Some really nice acting there in the way that the tiger, which is lying down, responds to the one walking over.
Yeah, that look of like, there's almost like a surprise, but then a like relief when they settle down.
I also really love the motion of the tiger lying down, the way it like lays its hindquarters down first and then kind of collapses its front legs, because I've seen cats do that.
Yeah.
It's a very like tiger/cat mannerism. So you like nailed that body language. The mechanics of the walk are also looking really nice in this one. Like and the planning is paying off there.
So this is showing how Habbo would like approach planning a shot like this in the time that he had, and then this version of it, which I'll have to download as well.
Oh, Francis, no problem. We will get to yours. If it's in the room now, we'll get to it when we get down to the bottom of the page. Yeah, tigers are amazing. Rawr.
Shows how we will take that planning and push it further. Let me just have it loop.
Yeah, Habbo, you didn't half give yourself a challenge, did you, with all those stripes as well? Goodness gracious, man.
It's really cool to see you pushing yourself, dude.
Yeah, looking really nice there. Lovely work. Aww.
The moving camera is an interesting choice as well. So it's sort of like slowly revealing more of the scene.
Makes it feel more cinematic. If you were to push this to the next level and keep working on it, I'd say I think you can get some acting out of these tiger tails as well. But this is looking really nice. Like, I don't have like anything really to say about it feedback wise in terms of this stage now. Sorry, the cat's going crazy behind us. She's chasing coins on the ground. Because you would just want to push this like to the next level and continue working on it. Like, oh my gosh, she's going nuts. Buffy, run. Yeah, like as always, watch your leg shapes. Make sure you get some nice head rotations in there to really make it feel like it's 3D. Use that centerline spine to really show the rotation of the body, which you're already doing there. I can see it when the tiger lies down. Beautiful.
Yeah, I can see that too. Great work, Habbo.
You removed all the stripes to redo. Oh, so much work. I know it's super tempting to put them on early though, isn't it? Because it's just like, I want to see how it would look with stripes. So I want to give it a go. And then you're like, maybe I should have left this till later.
Habbo says, I need to learn that leg anatomy. And I also feel like I missed a lot of subtle weight shifts in the head, spine, shoulders, and pelvis.
Yeah. I mean, for a first go, this is awesome. I have tried to animate lions in the past, and I know that they are effing difficult to do.
Okay.
Something I also need to get on myself. But you did a fantastic job, Habbo. Great work, man.
I think the next one is...
yeah, you should be happy with it for first time.
Next one's Alice's, is that right?
Yep. It's the frog. Alice says a little bit more than 3 hours. Let's see that frog. Show me that froggy boy. Save me from myself. It's time to see the frog.
Oh, it's Froggy Chair. Let's do that again.
I love the way it just lands like on its face with no grace whatsoever. Like, this frog has a lot of character, and I really like the design. It's nice and simple. Like, you've chosen a design which is nice to animate, easy to squash and stretch around. Because it's a cartoonified movement, but the study of the movement was based in realism. So it's kind of nice to see that combination between snappy movement and also looking at how a frog would actually jump. In that, which part would lead, which part would follow. Save me from my frog.
Really nice sense of anticipation as well. I think something that I would recommend as an improvement would maybe be to use the eye movement to show that it's like looking for where it wants to go next, or give an indication of like how it's feeling, because you could have it like look around a little bit more and then look down, or maybe it's not meaning to land on the chairs. Do you know what I'm kind of trying to say?
Sorry, I was just watching it again and again.
Ah, okay. Just because I feel like the frog is sort of just looking ahead, I think you've got a nice opportunity there to have it maybe like check out be like, oh, left, right, and then look down and then jump. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not down.
I think you could get a little bit more height on that jump as well. It feels very like straight across. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of height relatively for the amount it anticipates down.
Ah, okay.
Like, it anticipates down, so I kind of expect it to go up, and then it goes very across. Whereas if I would perhaps expect it to settle more backwards before it goes forwards if it's going to jump across. So I think you could have a bit more height, and then if you either raised the first composition or lowered the second composition, you would have a sense of it landing from a height down onto something. Because right now, between the first shot and the second shot, it's pretty even in terms of its position vertically on screen, you don't get as much of a sense of that it's landing on something.
Yeah.
Whereas if you started it higher and then the second composition were a bit lower, you would feel like it had travelled vertically. More. That gap, yeah. Especially because its size is comparable on both. I love the inclusion of the froggy chair. That's so good. I really like this character design a lot.
It's really, really nice.
It's very appealing.
I think next up we have the bird brain.
Oh, wait, one more thing.
Okay.
Like, I would love to see that leaf react when it jumps off. You know, just it would add so much subtle animation to it to offset that cartoony frog. I think it'd be really nice if it just had a very like subtle settle after the frog jumps off it. But yeah, beautiful work. Gorgeous stuff. Very cute character. Want to see more of them.
Yeah, thank you, Alice. And also thank you for all the gifts in in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, aw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, you tried to go high but it didn't look right. Oh, that's fair enough. Sometimes things just don't. Like, you feel like they should work and then you try and draw them, and for whatever reason, when executed, it doesn't work like you thought it would in your head. You know, animation is problem solving. So sometimes you have to do things in unexpected ways to get them to work.
I think the next one is the bird brain.
Yeah, I think so. There is a second one below that if you want to.
I think I've grabbed the second one.
Cool.
The one where she says, "I gotta sleep."
Yep.
Yep. Okay, got that one. Here we are.
Look at this. This is beautiful. This has so much personality, and you've really like sold the motion in that beautiful arc on the tail, the way it whips round, and the way the body. You see, this is kind of what I was talking about with the bear one, that the front and the back are offset. So the front leads the back, and the front leads the back, and there is a delay on the back, which lends this really nice fluidity to the movement. Bears wouldn't be this fluid, but the principle's the same. Like, this little ferret-like creature, like, it works super well because it's got that really nice long body.
I believe this is Zerberbrain's D&D character, a kobold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's so cute. I thought kobolds were lizards.
I don't know.
This is the bird brain kobold.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. There's lots of really nice things that can provide secondary action here. So, well, actually, it would be more like follow through and drag. So things like the hair and the tail, you can use to really sell that motion. And the bird brain has. I mean, the bird brain's quite an accomplished animator, so I'm sure that she has a bunch of stuff she wants to do with this. Things that I would probably like suggest if I was saying to punch it up would be offsetting those ears a bit, doing a little bit more with the hair in terms of the settle there, just because at the minute the hair feels like it's been shortcutted, which I'm sure it has for the time, because 3 hours isn't long, and I know this must have been more than 3 hours, I think, but yeah, sometimes you just don't have the time to put in ridiculous hair settles, but if you wanted to plus it, then that would be what I'd suggest.
I think I saw a version of this where she was just planning out. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah. I think she's also used Steiny's background for this, so it's super cool to see people kind of collaborating between each other's animations.
It is, yeah.
And learning from one another and using bits of one another's work. That's really cool. It's nice to see you guys all kind of collaborating in a sense as well.
I think, yeah. I've got a version of this which was just planning it out. So you can see how she was thinking about the different kind of sphere parts of the, let's bring it up.
Yeah, bring it up.
Different kind of ball parts of the creature interacting with one another when it's bouncing around. So it looks like she was intending to do like a turn afterwards.
Yeah.
Is all.
Just planning it out super rough in those stages is so helpful.
So yeah, if you are attempting to do something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, realize that you can sort of plan out the motion with less like pencil mileage
Yeah.
to try and plan out and like figure out that motion first before you go into all the investment of time of like drawing the character on model or like getting all that anatomy stuff built onto those.
And it's a good job she did, because I think I definitely prefer the second version. I think the first version, it feels like a lot of the parts are moving at similar times. So the turn feels like it all happens at once, and the tail is kind of going the same way as the head at the end there, which takes away some of the fluidity that you have in the second version, where the tail is kind of offsetting the head and it's moving in the opposite direction, and it's, you know, delayed behind everything.
So let's compare. Oh, that's not it.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah. All right.
There we are. Yeah, beautiful work. Really nice.
Let's see.
Love the character too. I love ferrets. They're so fun. Fun to animate because of that like long spine.
Here's the character model, just while I find the next one.
If you want to show us the Bird Brains run as well, then she posted something that she did a while back, but it does have a character, like a four-legged character doing a jump on it.
Oh, okay. Extra special. Open. It's opening.
It's doing it.
So I think she did this as part of like a Toon Boom. Like it was a kind of Toon Boom collab where lots of different animators took these two characters and made them run. Oh. Whoa. That'll have been loud, maybe.
I hope that wasn't too loud for you guys. So yeah, there you see the character in the back, which is like a seal. And the way, again, the front and the back are offset. And it's almost like the back is pushing forward the front. So we're having squash and stretch as well, with the way that the entire body shape as a whole coils up and then stretches back out. And then the way that the legs leave the ground is offset between the two. So it's got this lovely like slinky motion of bunching up and then exploding outwards.
Super cool. All right.
Then we've got Friendly Neighborhood Cheshire.
Woo, Cheshire!
Cheshire! Who has done a cat. It's a Persian. It's a Persian jumping up onto a box. I recognise that Pokemon.
There we are.
Yeah, 4 legs are crazy, Cheshire. Like, props to you for going for it with the challenge. Like, there's a lot that is right about this too. Like, the jump itself feels very nice. You could get a little bit more height there. Like, I think the front paws contact the box before the back legs leave the floor. So if you wanted, you could have the cat actually go through the air with its legs off the ground and then contact the first paws first. I think it might make it a bit more dynamic. The thing I think you really had problems with was just the walk across the top of the box and then the settling down into the end pose. But the jump itself is looking pretty nice. In terms of the motion on the tail and stuff, I always leave that stuff till last. So I wouldn't blame you for just like emitting the tail until you finish the animation, because that stuff is always easier to do straight ahead than it is to do pose to pose. So I always leave that stuff till last. I think that would help out with this one as well, because you'd get more into the flow of it.
I think one thing I saw during James Baxter's workshop was that he will figure out like the final settle pose of the character, or like in the case that we saw, it was a dog coming in to sit in front of a teacup.
Yeah.
But he had that first pose, so he knew when he started the animation where the dog was meant to end up and when, and worked backwards from that for the contact points of like the walk they had approaching the teacup. And I think in that instance here, it feels like if you planned where the cat was going to finally lie down, because I noticed like at the end it's trying to like roughly figure out where it's going to end up. I think if you had that pose at the end,
Kesha might have done that, you know. She might have actually done that, because that pose is more developed than the rest of it.
Maybe.
Which is as it should be, because the rest of it is like rough animation, and that's a keyframe. But you would also want to make sure that at the beginning of this, you would want basically 3 or 4 keys. One of the starting position, one of the cat like taking off from the jump, one of the cat landing from the jump, one of the cat sitting down, maybe. And I think that some of this might have been done more roughed straight ahead.
Yeah.
I think that it helps you to maintain the proportions of your character if you get those poses nailed first. And then once you've checked all those poses are consistent with one another, start mapping in the in-betweens. You want to learn how to guess the walk without having to straight ahead the walk part in a shot, if that makes sense. Like, put down walk poses that are accurate to how a walk would work instead of guessing by straight heading. Yeah, that'd be a good thing to study. Like, I recommend looking at slow-mo animals walking, or Muybridge, who's this dude who does this amazing series of just photographs of different animals walking in front of a grid. He's done like a house cat, I think he's done a dog, a donkey. He might have done a tiger, I'm not sure. But you could have a check, and they're really helpful. I looked at those a lot back in university when I was animating a cat walking, and that really helped me to see what was going on with it. But yeah, that's always, the plan is always to get from straight heading and kind of just feeling it out into actually knowing exactly what it is you're doing, be able to pose it out beforehand, and then take advantage of straight ahead for the more flowy parts. Yeah, animals and humans. So, super cool. But Cheshire, this is a great attempt. I think the main thing I would say is just to look at more cats and how they would sit down or walk. I think if you use real reference and footage to key out those positions, then it will make the motion feel more convincing. But I think this is an awesome attempt, and thank you so much for taking part in the challenge.
Thank you.
I hope you continue with the next one too.
Next one is from Jam.
Jam! Hey Jam, welcome to the Animorning challenge. Thank you very much for taking part. I hope you had a blast with this. It looks like you had fun. Like, this is good coming straight after the previous one, because for this one I can tell that Jam used reference. Because the positions are much more realistic in terms of the way that the body mechanics are working. So this is obviously, like, reference has been used to look at this.
And this would be a slow motion reference, it looks like.
Yeah, the main problem with this is, as Mike just said, just that if it's not meant to be slow motion, which if it is, then there's no problem with it. It's just a little bit over animated or a little bit running a bit slow in playback, which you can either decide to try this on ones, which will speed it up, or you can eliminate some of the poses.
Yeah.
You know, either of which would work. It's a really good exercise in spacing and timing, actually, for you to go back into this and to try and get it on one-to-one time with how it would actually be. Just using the number of exposures you use and which drawings you use to do that, because it will teach you to really control the spacing and figure out where you need that pupper to be in every frame in order for the motion to feel like fun and snappy. He like comes in, jumps off the rock, lands.
Yeah, one thing I'm noticing is that all of the spacing in this feels quite evenly spaced. Which would make sense, because if you're viewing it from reference, then those the rate at which those frames were captured would have been evenly spaced from a camera. Yes,
makes complete sense. That's one of the issues you can run into when using reference. A piece of advice I got about using reference that I stick to is to find the keyframes in the reference. And so the things that I reference from footage that I look at is the keyframes that I find within that reference. Like, I decide what my keys are going to be. It's going to be the dog, like, just touching down on the rock, the dog jumping off the rock, the dog in the air, the dog touching the ground, and the dog settling in. And then I find those. I find the most pleasing positions I can in the video. And then I reference those and adjust them if I need to make them more pleasing. You know, I increase overlap or whatever else I need to do to make it a nice drawing. And then I'll look at how the dog goes in between those and keep that in mind as I rough animate between them and like straight ahead. But I don't continue to go through the reference then and keep referencing each pose. I will just look through it and keep in mind how the dog's moving between the two.
Oh, hey!
Hey! Yuli Leo! I'm probably saying that wrong, but you're Jam! Hello! Yeah, I think you could definitely make it look less floaty just by adjusting which drawings you keep in and how long you have them on screen for. But the motion in this, like the reference you've used is obviously really good. It's lovely motion. The only thing I'm feeling at the minute in terms of the motion that feels odd is it feels like the dog is traveling horizontally as it jumps off the stone, and you can see that its torso and its hindquarters are all traveling through the air. But then at a certain point, about 3/4 of the way through, it feels like the horizontal motion like comes to a stop and it then falls straight down. Whereas I feel like it would keep going across the screen for that. And it makes the settle and the land feel a little bit less real than it otherwise would. And the thing is, it might well do that in the reference, but successful animation is making things look believable, and sometimes real life doesn't look believable, so you have to actually like change and fill with real world physics to suit your animation so that it feels more real than the real footage does, if that makes sense. Like, for example, when you rotoscope a person walking, they feel very floaty, so it's necessary to exaggerate the ups and downs to make the walk feel real.
Yeah, like there's so many more cues in real life for like to tell you how something's happening, and when you're drawing it, a lot of those can get kind of phased out.
Yeah.
So that exaggerating really lets you like help you feel that force, because you're only getting partial parts of the information with an animation.
Yeah, because you're simplifying.
Yeah, it's an abstraction, so if you can bend the rules a little bit to sort of like lean into and out of a movement, then it feels more convincing. But more than that, it feels... It has more of a feeling to it, you know?
Yeah. Like, that's why exaggeration's a principle.
Yep.
Is because that's what we use it for. Oh, our Patreon is free for everyone and completely public, and the Discord is kind of semi-public. The Discord isn't like a general chat server. It's more for people who want to. It's a club for people who want to just improve and focus on their art, and like we all kind of post our stuff in there and get feedback and such. So it's not just like a chat server. It's a place where people go to kind of talk about animation and stuff.
So our Discord is by invite of people we trust. So if you're turning up to the streams and you're engaging with us and you're showing us your work and we get to know you a bit, then we'll probably more than likely throw you an invite. Mm-hmm. That makes sense? There's no like paywall or like
we just want to keep it like a nice
thing.
Community and not too big.
Yeah.
That's all.
So if you were coming and you're participating in these challenges or that sort of thing, or like it's animation centric, because we wanted to have a place where we can talk about animation and really help each other grow, and really like that's part of what this Animorning challenge is like we want to see animators really challenge themselves and improve, and so the Discord has been an extension of that for a number of years now. So yeah, we'll have Trashbot say that soon.
All right, and then we have our final, which is from Francis, and it's a Pika Pika.
It's a Pika Pika.
That was a terrifying Pikachu impression.
Yeah.
That's Nightmare Chew.
Here we are. Awesome. Can I can see some stuff with this.
You want to go for it, Mike?
Yeah, I feel like you've got a really nice sense of anticipation. I think what this is lacking is a sense that Pikachu is like having to catch themselves when they hit the ground.
Follow through.
There's not a lot of saddle, which could be intentional. Like they're really making it like intimidating pose, but it does feel like the Pikachu's are kind of like snapping to the ground. So if you just have a couple of frames afterwards for them to like ease into like going lower to the ground and then like taking the weight and then pushing it back up, you'll really feel that sense of that Pikachu's weight has like hit the ground.
Yeah, even if it's just on ones, if you want to keep it super snappy, you can put it on ones and it will still feel snapped.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd agree. Also, I think it would add a little bit of nuance to it to have his feet contacting the ground at different times. So you could have the arm which is up in the air as he jumps. You could have that hitting the ground after the back feet or before the back feet or after or before the other front leg. Just like offsetting those things a little bit, I think will help. And in terms of what Mike said about the settle, showing the weight settle onto the back feet and then come up again, I think will help a lot. Because at the minute, the feet are they're very still in both the anticipation and in the landing. And they would be receiving probably the brunt of the weight of Pikachu, of that big butt of his. So having like those paws push slightly into the ground for a frame or two before he comes back up would be really nice. Like, I think this looks like it looks like you could have potentially accomplished this in 3 hours. So that's amazing. Like, good job, dude. You've made really good use of those cells and the ears and the tail and stuff to sell the motion. Even though like it's got relatively few in-betweens in it, the motion still sells and it's very clear what's happening.
Yeah,
like nice posing. Yeah. The key posing in this is real nice. I think the things that would improve it are just things to like really sell that weight a little bit more, like offsetting the settle on the ears so that they both settle at slightly different times or slightly different amounts and softening those out a little bit. Also maybe having his head bob down at the end and come back up. Add a little bit of expression to his mouth opening a little bit more as he comes up, or his eyebrows narrowing more as he comes up. Like getting that squash and stretch you have in your keys through the rest of him. And I know it's to him because he ain't got the heart tail.
That's fair.
Yeah, you did it in 3 hours. Yeah, awesome work, dude. Like, very, very good economic use of motion there to sell what you're going for without going over the time limit.
Yeah, and competent use of the background and depth as well. Like,
yeah, that's true. Perspective is real nice on this. Like, I really like that it's coming forward in perspective. And it's on model, which is nice as well. It's such a cute Pikachu. My goodness. My goodness! But yeah, you could very easily, I think, now that you have these better bones, which are already working and are already strong, I think you could very easily just spend another hour or two like really refining those little details and have a really super nice jump at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you could even add some, effects and sparks onto its cheeks at the end as it gears up for an attack. Because that is this week's challenge! This week's challenge is effects! And we doing lightning, guys.
Whoa!
We doing lightning.
Are you choosing it for them? Lightning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I am. We might do an effect a week or just intersperse doing character stuff with focusing on different types of effects. I think it's going to be easier for us all to give each other feedback and compare work if we focus on one particular thing.
Yeah.
Rather than everyone does like electric or fire or ground or,
I think that's cool.
Water. So it's electricity this week, guys. Now, the thing I was going to ask you to do was to have fun with the shapes of it by having some kind of block color background and having your lightning play across the screen in different ways.
Okay.
And spend like 3 hours just having fun making lightning effects.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to add your lightning to a scene, like maybe Francis would want to do it on his Pikachu, that's also absolutely fine. But the point is we're studying lightning.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to do a 3-hour study of lightning.
Okay, I think that sounds really, really cool.
Yeah, the great thing about lightning is it's fast to strike and it's fast to animate, which means you guys, like 3 hours, you might not even need 3 hours, but you can do a couple of different versions in 3 hours and try out some stuff and have fun with it. Like, one of my favorite pieces of effects animation is by our very own Tibbs, and it's a lightning dragon.
Oh, yeah.
She's done a dragon made of lightning. It's like there's no rules to this challenge in particular other than the fact that it has to be lightning, so you can really have fun with what you want to do with it.
One thing I would recommend if you're taking on this challenge this week is that work in solid color rather than line for effects, because it'll help you feel out the shapes a lot quicker. So add shapes and then use the eraser to carve into those shapes to really help you block them out. Because if you're trying to draw each frame with line, it's like 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 times. It'll take you longer, like 6 times longer, just to get that one frame down.
I couldn't agree more. Like for this, definitely work in block color. Like you will find it so much easier. Lines are great for characters.
Oh, your screen's back on now, India, by the way.
Okay, great for characters. Not so much for effects animation. For effects animation, you really want to be working in like blocks of color and shape and really focusing on that timing and spacing. The great thing about effects animation is that they really they isolate the timing and spacing away from you making appealing characters. So it's a great way to practice that and really experiment with it. It will show you very quickly if your timing and spacing is too even.
That's a good point, India. Caveman Can asks, is this going to be due by Friday or next Wednesday? Because we're showing these these late when we want to give people enough time to do it.
Yeah, it'll be Monday. So I want to get back to our regular schedule. So you guys have the weekend to do it if you'd like to. But we are going to try and get back to showing them on Monday. Because it was my bad this week that we didn't manage to show them on Monday, but I would like to do that again.
Okay, I will do a quick demo for Caveman Can. So rather than working in trying to describe your electric shape by this, like that top, rather than trying to describe your electric shape with a line to be like this and then like this, if you just start out with a big shape like this and carve into it with an actual opaque eraser, you'll find that you can test out the shapes a lot faster. So I would recommend finding in whatever animation software you're using, finding an eraser that is fully opaque and a brush that is fully opaque, so that you don't have any of the soft edging, at least to begin with. Come on, Photoshop, give me back my ability to select a brush. So something like this. That was my eraser. So you can just quickly carve into the shapes as you need to. I'm not an effects artist, so bear with me.
I'm just trying to find some examples for people if you guys are wondering why I'm quiet at the minute. I'm just looking to give you guys the kind of thing that we are thinking of. That's quite a good example. So
it might even help if you're using a square brush to get those really tight angles.
So this is a nice example.
Cool.
It's not lightning, but you can see how they're very much choosing blocks of shapes. They have lines on some of the cubes, but the shapes kind of come first.
Yeah. Whenever I see professionally done effects animation, it tends to be like that, with really, really clear, distinct shapes, because all of the glows and the other compositing that happens can go on top of that information, but it keeps it clean and it keeps it manageable. And it's efficient, which is what you'll need for this 3-hour challenge.
Yeah, also, I just saw a really, really incredible piece of Sonic the Hedgehog animation that I'm going to show you guys. Look at this! How cool is this? Look at those beautiful smear frames. Oh my goodness.
Oh, here it comes.
Hold on, I need to pause it so I can get into it properly. There we go. Look at these. Look at these beautiful smear frames. They have this nice anticipation as he lifts his foot and goes backwards. And then his tails continue to go through as his head goes into a smear and his foot goes into a smear. His arms ball up in fists and they oppose the motion by going upwards. And then they drag behind him. As that smear continues on his head, his foot comes down, his tails are continuing to move through.
I'm just going to try and give you...
And then this beautiful smear here, where everything goes forward. Oh, and then we have a bit of effects animation starting on the foot. And look at that. What a powerful frame. Hell yeah, Tails, get it. Bitch. And that camera is supporting the movement too. Super nice. And then he's away. He's turned away. And this is all going to be settled. Oh, look at that tail drag. Ooh. Surprising. Like, that's the thing. It's like, things don't have to be on model, because if they are, you lose stuff like this. And it makes the motion look so beautiful and fluid and fun and exciting.
Like, they're really exaggerating the scale of Tails' tail there to really sell the impact of him poofing that crane.
Yeah, and to sell the perspective too. You can't get that if you stay on model. So don't stay on model. Do stuff like this. It's so much more fun. Have fun with animation and make your own rules. Those tails are still massive. Oh my goodness. But now we're getting more smears.
Wow.
Look at those tails. Oh, they're really stretching out. So I think he's dragging the robot with his tails. Because look at these duplicate eyes we have. That's another way to do smears. It's not just dragging things like this, but duplicating eyes like this. It's a great way to have an arc be indicated in your drawing without having to actually like stretch the character across the entire arc. So we have these big tails, and then you really feel the stretch because there's a reversal in the curve of that. It's going from being curved downwards to being curved upwards, and we're also getting the stretch, which is acting as anticipation for this, which is about to happen. Holy capola, it's so fun and so cool. Another smear with the tails. Tails has 3 tails for once.
So who is this?
The camera really helps here. We've got a big zoom in there.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Tails is settling. His butt's coming backwards from having slammed it. And I love the way that he's showing the tails about to gear up and go into helicopter mode. Yeah. So this is Knight, Neight, who I follow, and everyone else should follow too. 2,000 followers? Let's fix that. Like, I don't know how we can fix that, but everyone follow them. They're amazing. Hopefully they'll get more now that this is being seen by a bunch of people. Oh, I already commented on it. Damn it, I want to comment on it again. Damn it! It's so good.